Shazia Ilmi, are you concerned that unlike 2014 and 2019, where the opposition fought amongst itself, even if Nitish Kumar can't build perfect opposition unity, and there never will be perfect opposition unity, and the idea of one seat, one candidate doesn't become a reality pan-India, but it becomes a reality in enough number of states, it poses a greater challenge to Prime Minister Modi's re-election than the spectre of a diffused opposition?
You know, I would like to begin by saying that after close to 10 years and a decade of BJP rule at the center, and we know what a strong government has been and what a decisive leadership India has had, to see this picture of all kinds of strange bedfellows making a ragtag kind of a movement just to oust Modi ji, I think it seems like a concession and conceding of the fact that they realize they're no good by themselves, one, and their admission of the inadequacies of their policies, of their state governments, submerging of their identities, individual identities, which means
obviously they are accepting some of this. Shahjaji, that's not my question. Obviously they have accepted that they alone can't beat the Prime Minister and the BJP, which is why they are coming together. But the point that I'm making is, the spectre of opposition unity poses a greater challenge to Prime Minister Modi's re-election than a diffused opposition, and to that extent, 2024 becomes slightly tougher.
Yeah, but you know, Rahul, I don't agree with that. I think this picture that you see, Modi versus all, and you know, who's who or who's who versus Modi, for me, it's a picture of desperation. It is not a picture of strength or opposition strength. It shows exactly, it actually demonstrates all the very reasons why the entire the voter bank of India would want to go and work towards Modi, because it's very obvious that there is no plan, there is nothing pro, manifesto, ideology, but there is one glue that binds them all, which is Modi hatred. And Modi ko kisi tarah se harana hai. And I think that itself cannot be the sole, card that can be used by the opposition. And if it does so, it's just an act of great desperation. So I don't see any strength here.
Okay.
I see a very compromised, a very fractured
alliance is not born out of strength. It's not meant to be born out of strength. I want to go across to Pavan Varma for an international context. Pavan, to talk about what happened, for example, in Israel, where in you had 12-year-old tenure of Benjamin Netanyahu, and against that 8 opposition parties came together and they were able to put up a much stronger resistance to Netanyahu than would otherwise have been possible. The same happened in Turkey this year, where we saw against Recep Erdogan a lot of opposition parties coming together. Again, initially it seemed that they wouldn't come together, and these are parties cutting across left, far right. It was attempted in Turkey as well. There, of course, the difference was that Viktor Orban actually preserved his 2/3 majority despite 6 major opposition parties coming together. So the verdict on this internationally has been mixed. It kind of worked in Israel. In Turkey, they put up a tougher challenge to Erdogan than would have otherwise been possible. And in Hungary, it kind of didn't work.
You see, thank you, Rahul. I think these are examples which don't exactly have a parallel in India. And let me begin by saying that I welcome the move by Mr. Nitish Kumar to try and begin to bring the opposition on the same table. But my fear is really, and I wish them well, because the country needs a strong opposition, the BJP needs an opposition. My fear is that perhaps it's too little too late, because with elections now 10 months away, we've spent 9 years with the opposition fighting against each other and in a sense proving themselves to be an ally of the BJP by dividing the opposition vote. And so far, this dispersed coalition of parties has not coalesced or congealed into a concrete and visible unity with a leader, if possible, a pan-Indian narrative, a pan-Indian organizational network, and a grassroots presence where there is a coordinated network. It has not happened. Now, coming to the reality of the situation, and you put your finger on it when you began, can the opposition ideally agree to one opposition candidate against the BJP on a pan-India basis? Now, that is where the nub lies. Will Mamata Banerjee, with whom Mr. Nitish Kumar and Tejashwi Yadav met today, would she be willing to cede seats to the Congress and the left? Would the Congress say that it will not fight KCR in Telangana? Would, for instance, Congress say that it will not fight AAP in Delhi? Now these are, or for instance in Kerala, will the Congress and left say we will come together and not fight with each other? Now these are the questions which need to be sorted out. And Tyagiji mentioned that without the Congress an opposition unity is not possible. I agree with him. But that is the elephant in the room. That's the nub of both the solution and the problem. Rahul, give me just 40 seconds more. If the Congress were to agree to this formula, then it would essentially be fighting elections for itself only in 10 states of the country. They are Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Assam, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. Because in other states it would have to cede space to regional parties which are much stronger than the Congress. Now if you take these 10 states, it adds up to 152. In these states you can, in 2024, in my view, write off Rajasthan and Gujarat, where the Prime Minister's personal popularity is not only very high, but in a parliamentary election as against a state assembly election. Now let me just, give me 20 seconds more. Now which means that out of 152 seats in these states where the Congress's direct opponent is the BJP, and the BJP strike rate against the Congress is 96%. Is the Congress willing to reduce itself to a little more than 60 seats in order to accommodate the opposition?
Okay.